All right, today is Tuesday, September 12th, and these are your Guild Wars 2 news notes for the day. There was a small balance patch today. Well, they described it as a small balance patch. This was posted yesterday. Yesterday, they said that there would be a round of balance adjustments coming on September 26th. It will include some changes to address some very overperforming builds of PvE on top of a few small adjustments going out in tomorrow's build to address outliers in competitive mode. So they hinted that there was going to be some PvP nerfs or something today, and then today's notes just came out, and we're about to take those from the top. So, Fractal Rush. The Fractal Rush bonus event is underway this week. To promote Tyria's hottest historical simulation gateway, your friends at the Consortium are sweetening the deal with extra loot and achievements for just 1 week. You'll find Fractal Rush trophies in your favorite Fractal's final rewards chest at any difficulty level. These will automatically progress the Fractal Rush Champion achievement. Complete Fractal Rush Champion tiers to earn various useful items and currencies for your Fractal journey. To get started, speak with Assistant Subdirector Ranu in Lion's Arch to learn more about the event. Fractal Rush will be available for 1 week and end on September 19th. World Polish Skywatch Archipelago. Added more traversal options between Westward Skyward Marches and Shattered Atoll, Draknar's Light, and Jade Mechabilitation Zone 03. I assume that means either ley lines or updrafts. I'm not sure what they did there, but yeah, I assume they did this because I've tried rift hunting both in Skywatch and also Amnitus, and Amnitus is much easier because in Amnitus you can just port to the waypoint in the middle, which is at a high elevation, and just Griffin dive bomb literally anywhere on the map. The Skywatch, there is many islands that are much more of a pain, especially because the waypoints are constantly going into being contested, and you have to claw and climb and to get to many of the rifts, which is annoying. I don't really like rift hunting there, so this might be a nice improvement. The time or duration before players are removed from the area after completing the Unlocking the Wizard Tower meta event has increased from 5 minutes to 10 to allow more time for listening to optional conversations, reading books, and looting chests. So that's basically the after you complete the meta event in Archipelago. It's how much time you have to loot the Wizard's Tower, the south half of it, before it kicks you out. Another change I would like to see there is the treasure chests in that tower. They don't tell you whether they're on your floor or above you or below you until you're really close to them. So, like, when you first zone in, you see all the boxes on the map, and then you might run toward one and find out it's 5 floors up or 1 floor down. And it's a lot harder to plan a route around it to get all the stuff, because you can't... I would love for that icon to be visible from farther away. Fixed an issue that allowed Alchemist Briella to enter a conversation from an unintended location. Fixed an issue that caused Alchemist Briella's dialogue to be displayed throughout the entire map. This one I haven't seen, this one I have. She's constantly talking to you no matter where you are on the screen. Amnitus. Fixed an issue that caused bundles of concoctions to fall on the floor if the player was already holding a bundle while mounted during Escort Ziesel and the concoctions to the Greenhouse event in Amnitus. Fixed an issue that caused the Sticky Concoction Special Action skill to display the wrong skill facts for applied conditions in Amnitus. Updated the icon for the Reinforced Armor effect to better represent the mechanic's overall functionality and help distinguish it from other enhancements. Going to turn the Mistlock music down a touch here. Fixed an issue that caused some informative dialogue lines to repeat frequently during Amnitus events that caused players to defeat tentacles and close rifts. Fixed an issue that prevented the boss's name from displaying properly and defeat the avatar before it steals the relics event. Fixed an issue that could cause possessed researchers in the Exercise the Possessed Researchers event to be killed by damage in excess of their health threshold. Fixed an issue that prevented Cryptus turrets from awarding participation during Help Olivia escort relics by shooting at Cryptus from the Magic Platforms events. Fixed some visual issues and prepare for the Cryptus Assault on the Gates event. Fixed an issue that caused Head Cartographer Pavish to spawn twice. I haven't seen that one. Fixed an issue that caused Patha to repeat dialogue lines during the Fight Off the Cryptus Ambush event. General. Updated an extra life pet to display the correct species model. I think, was that the one that appeared as a phoenix even though it was supposed to be a demon? I know about that one. I saw a picture of that one recently. I don't know if that's the one that they're talking about. Gorthos, son of Malik. This is also it's Malik, not Malek. They spelled the name wrong. Gortho, I believe, is one of the people that sells you a quest item to get. It's either the Wizard's Tower Teleportation Scroll or the Soto Sky Scale. One of the quest items is bought from them. I know because we just made the guides for both of those, and it was in one of those videos. Will now offer to sell players Bird Whistle for Sky Scale collection progress if none of his related events are active in Iron Marches. Improved enemy placements in Skywatch Archipelago, Wizard's Tower, and Amnetis. Found one new achievement to Skywatch Archipelago. Fixed an issue that prevented Dagda's initial dialogue from playing for the Sorrow's Lost collection. Added new conversations to Dagda in the Wizard's Tower. Added new hints for the Sorrow's Lost collection. General. New expand all and collapse all recipe group options have been added to the search filter menu in the crafting interface. Ooh. At the moment I'm recording this, the patch has not hit the live servers yet. We're just reading the notes. I am very interested in seeing how that looks. Fixed crashes related to the improved crafting functionality and re-enabled the following changes. The crafting interface has been revamped to better serve its intended purpose as a library of crafting recipes. The category menu now includes the All Professions category, which is selected by default and will display all recipes currently available to your character. Oh, they mentioned this a few patches ago, and then it was absolutely not in the game, so maybe now they're adding it for real. Regardless of their active crafting discipline. So, like, if you have an alt on your account that's an artificer, but the character you're logged onto is a weapon master, or weaponsmith, sorry, you can still see the artificer's recipes. That's the type of thing they're talking about. Selecting one of the 9 disciplines from the menu will filter the results to only display recipes from that discipline. Selecting one of the 9 disciplines from the menu will filter results to only display recipes from that discipline. Is this the same sentence twice? The menu will show which disciplines are currently active. Okay. 2 new options are available from the menu that appears when right-clicking any material that can be used in a crafting recipe. The Open Crafting Preview with Item option will open the Crafting tab in your Hero panel. The Open Crafting Station with Item option is available when you're near a crafting station, and it will open the crafting station's crafting interface. Both options will display recipes that require the item. For example, when right-clicking mithril ingots in your inventory and selecting one of the new options, the available crafting recipes will automatically be filtered to those requiring mithril ingots as an ingredient. The options will not display crafting recipes that are unavailable at your current crafting level or that you have not learned. Okay, that sounds awesome. I look forward to trying that out. Dungeons. Added a universal access point for dungeons in Lion's... Whoa! Added a universal access point for dungeons in Lion's Arch outside the Aerodrome, and moved the dungeon, weapon, and armor vendors to a location nearby. Oh boy! They added a dungeon hub! That is interesting. So that's a very interesting thing. Is that many MMOs in the past that died have said that that was like a slippery slope, because, like, you know, when it gets, if you make it too automated, people stop talking to each other, and you end up with like the dungeon queue in World of Warcraft. Now, of course, this is not as simple as the World of Warcraft dungeon queue, but this is definitely easier than it was. However, I think we can all agree that dungeons were kind of like dead content as far as the community. Yeah, there were some people there, but mostly for the community, it was like dead content. People just were not doing it much. They take longer than fractals, and they pay less than fractals. So they need to up the loot from them. They literally don't even need to change the stuff in the dungeons, but they need to up the loot from them if they want people to do them more regularly. Okay. The personal story. Fixed an issue in the From the Ashes story instance in Living World Season 4 that caused the Deadeye Priestess to become stuck in an invulnerable state when attacked with especially high amounts of burst damage. Fixed several issues in Prisoners of the Dragon story instance in Heart of Thorns. Fixed an issue that prevented Ritlock from moving or following the player, blocking story progress. Fixed an issue that sometimes prevented other key story characters from following the player. Fixed an issue that allowed players other than the instance owner to advance the story without the instance owner present. Fixed an issue... Yes, sorry, we did your quest while you weren't here. Fixed an issue that prevented several of the Mordrum cell prisoners from appearing. Fixed pathing behavior that caused Beergarth the Smith to abruptly teleport back to his starting location, or prevented him from moving to his intended destination if the player completed certain objectives out of order. Added 9 new achievements for the Guild Wars 2 Soto story. A Secret of the Night, sneak through the camp without being caught. I'm never doing that. Written Ward, find and read the Astral Ward communiques. Astral Gopher, complete the optional tasks for your allies. Tower Snoop, find and read all the confidential literature found throughout the Wizard's Tower. Asthene's Acrobatics, defeat the chapter boss without being drowned. Compassion for a friend, use /sit next to Zoja to comfort her in her time of need. Pat. Going the extra mile, complete a tier 3 hunt in Amnetis instead of a tier 2 hunt. Manifestation Mayhem, defeat Isgarin's manifestations without being downed. Emotional Fortitude, defeat all of the embodiments of the chapter boss. I read this, and the number one thing I'm curious about is, do any of these offer mastery points? Because right now, there is such a small selection of... there are extra masteries. If you get every mastery in Soto, you can get all of the things you need to spend masteries on and have some extra, but there's not a lot extra. So you're kind of... you don't have a lot of choice in the stuff that you don't want to do. Like, if you look at stuff, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do this. Well, you can't get enough mastery points now. You're kind of forced to do things you really don't want to do, I feel like. So I'm very interested to see if some of these offer mastery points now. Not a lot of wiggle room, yeah. None of them are that hard, to be honest. I don't even think Doom CM is that hard. It just takes practice, Kojak. I'm not saying they're difficult. I'm saying it's not fun. The point of the game is to have fun, and I feel like that you're forced to do a lot of stuff, like go find the 87 fox spirits. Like, freaking, I don't want to do that. Yeah, things like that. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Moving on. Items. Updated the individual legendary starter kit icons to more accurately depict their corresponding legendary weapons. Updated the generic legendary starter kit selection box icon. Gifts of Fortune can no longer be salvaged to recover base materials. Huh. Profession skills. General. Relic of the Afflicted. I really expected to see Akeem in here. Relic of the Afflicted. Reduce the damage coefficient from 1 to 0.3 in World v World only. Reduce the number of stacks of bleeding and poison from 2 to 1 in World v World only. Relic of Antitoxin. Reduce the internal cooldown from 5 seconds... Or sorry, increase the internal cooldown from 5 to 10. Ooh. Antitoxin was a good one. It was like when you cleanse more. So it was a nice buff to how much you could cleanse conditions for your teammates. But they're increasing the cooldown quite a bit. Firebrand. Overwhelming Celerity. Fixed an issue that prevented quickness from being displayed in the skill fact in PvE. Okay, so that's like a tooltip thing. Mesmer, Axes of Symmetry, fixed an issue that prevented the skill from functioning properly with Axe Shield clones. Oh, so weird interaction there, because Mesmer didn't used to have access Axe of Symmetry. You didn't use before Weapon Master, you couldn't have someone have an axe and a shield, so it looks like there was some bad clone interaction there. Ranger Serpent Strike, which is related to the reworked sword. Reduce the damage coefficient from 1.5 to 1.2 in PvP and World v World. Okay, so kind of a minor nerf there. Soul Beast Maul Porcine, so that's like when you merge with a boar or a pig. Reduce the damage coefficient per strike from 1.1 to 0.775 in PvP World v World. Prelude Lash no longer immobilizes in PvP. Really? I haven't played Soul Beast in a while, but I never really thought that was busted. It's a very short range pull toward you. It like pulls the area around you in a like small radius toward you, and then immobilizes you for 1 second, and allows you to do like a follow-up move. Surprised by that one, but okay. One Wolf Pack increases the strike interval from 0.25 seconds to 0.5 seconds in PvP only. Reduce the damage coefficient from 0.63 to 0.5 PvP only. Increase the strike interval. So that means they're doubling the amount of time that has to pass before this can proc again, I think, if I'm understanding that right. So the fact that they're nerfing the damage slightly, but also making it trigger less often, is substantial for if they're doing something like Warhorn 4, that's where the birds swoop down and peck at you. It does 16 small hits. So if they are increasing the interval so that less of those hits are going to proc One Wolf Pack on you, that's probably needed. There's been a Sword Warhorn build that's been pretty insane with Soul Beast recently. I can't really argue against this one. Warrior. Fast Hands. Fixed an issue that prevented this trait from interacting properly with Relic of the Warrior in PvP. Breaching Strike. Imagine having a relic named after you and it doesn't work for you. Breaching Strike. Fixed an issue that caused this skill to use PvE values in World v World when activated by Spellbreaker. Okay. And then we've got additional late notes. World Polish. Back to Amnotus. Fixed an issue that sometimes prevented special action skills from being available during non-meta events in Bastion of the Celestial. Fixed an issue that prevented vertical tentacles from displaying the correct portrait during the defensive Amnotus meta event. Fixed an issue that prevented the Cryptus visual environment effects from covering the entire map during the meta event finale in Amnotus. Wait, fixed an issue that prevented Cryptus effects from covering the entire map?
Look, it's the Tree of Birds. How are you?
So Cryptus effects are supposed to cover the entire map? Oh god. Okay, I think next time I go to Acid Trip, I was trying to say next time I go to Amnotus, it's going to look like an Acid Trip. Yeah, next time I go on an Acid Trip, I'm just going to see Amnotus. Whatever. That still works. Fixed an issue that prevented the Sea of Clouds point of interest from unlocking properly in Amnatus. Wizard's Tower changes. Fixed an issue that prevented some collection entries from displaying the correct icons for Comrade and Arms collection. I haven't done that one, I don't think. Fixed an issue that prevented players who told Hortensia that they weren't ready to start the memorial during Comrade and Arms collection from activating it on their current map instance. Again, haven't done that one. What's in your coat? It's just water right now. General. Fixed an issue that prevented some profession-specific abilities from being counted for the Wizard's Vault dodge objectives. Fixed an issue that caused complete meta event the Gang War of Echo Vault Wizard's Vault weekly objective to complete after finishing certain other meta events. You know, there was a funny one on this. Give me just a second. All right. So the daily thing to dodge... if you go to those newbie zone things where there's like an electric ring and you have to dodge through it and it's supposed to teach newbies how to dodge, it did not get the daily done. A lot of people found out that you had to be in combat for the dodge to count. So if you actually did the tutorial that trained you how to dodge, it didn't get the dodge daily done. I don't know that this changes that at all. This sounds like it just makes it to where, like, for example, short bow 3 on Ranger it is a short evade. So I guess they made stuff like that count as a dodge. But okay. Fix an issue that caused complete meta event Gang War of Echo Vault weekly objective to complete after finishing certain other meta events. Fix an issue that prevented defeat one legendary rank enemy Wizard's Vault weekly objective from completing correctly for all players in some instances. Increase the number of daily objectives in the Wizard's Vault from 4 to 5. The number of objectives required to obtain the daily Wizard's Vault meta reward remains unchanged. So that means that we will get more things to choose from. Let's see if okay, so I haven't updated mine, so there will be one more here, but I only have to do any 4 of them to complete this. Added 4-dimensional special, 4-dimensional, nope, 4 additional, yeah, sorry, yeah, they made a new dimension. Added 4 additional special objectives to the Wizard's Vault. Added experience to progress chest rewards for the meta event in the Defense of Amnatus. Added experience to successful meta event reward chests for... Skywatch Archipelago, unlocking Wizard's Tower, Amnatus, Defense of Amnatus, Sept Province, Ether Blade Assault, New Canning City, Canning Blackout, Echo Vault, Wilds, the Gang War of Echo Vault, Dragons End the Battle for the Jade Sea, and Gala Delve the Jade Crisis and Destroy the Ravenous Wanderer. Okay. Added an exchange tab to Erosion the Penitent to allow players to exchange Mystic Runestones for Icy Runestones. Oh, that's legit nice. Once... over the years, I bought the wrong runestones, which is 100 gold. If you buy the wrong runestones for the legendary you're making, it's 100 gold, and you can't. There's no backseas on that. So a way to exchange them sounds amazing. Just in case. Added an exchange tab to Miani, Mystic Forge Attendants, and Mystic Forge Keepers to allow players to exchange Icy Runestones for Mystic. Oh, you can go the other way too. The Scholar of Secret Mastery is required to use this exchange. Okay. Fixed an issue that prevented succulent crabs from being picked up in the crab toss activity. Oh, succulent. Items. Feast of Truffle Steak. Fixed an issue that caused the nourishment effect to last for 30 minutes. The nourishment effect can now correctly last for 60 minutes. Oh, okay. Tequaddle's Hoard containers can now be stacked. Oh, thank God. I know a lot of you out there have a whole bank full of Tequaddle's Hoards. I think I might have 2. Piles of regurgitated armor can now be stacked. Gross. Profession skills, Ranger, Untamed. Neurotoxin Burst. Okay, so this is an Untamed who is using the Soul Beast dagger and then ambushes with it. Reduce the bleeding and poison stacks from 3 to 2, and the duration of each from 8 seconds to 6 seconds in PvP only. Okay, so PvP nerf to the dagger ambush. Alright. Solar Brilliance. Alright, that is an Untamed using the Druid's Staff and doing an Untamed ambush. Reduce the base heal per pulse from 298 to 170 in PvP only. Huh, so really quickly here, because I happen to be on my Untamed. This is Solar Brilliance. It's the big snot ring around you. It's the staff ambush. In PvE, it's unlocked the ability for Untamed to be a primary healer in their group and provide quickness at the same time, and also does respectable damage to the area around you. Has a very large range. It's not quite the maximum healing potential of a druid, but it's up there, and it has a much larger range. It's actually pretty nice, other than the fact that it makes it hard to see crap on the floor, because it is just so... it's so offensive to the eyes. It's just, especially if you also do the stink cloud, like, it's harder to see, like, red stuff on the floor. However, I hadn't seen anyone try to use it as a heal untamed in PvP. But, you know, that doesn't mean it didn't exist. So I'm surprised to see this. I did not know that anyone was doing that. Okay. I'm gonna F5 just to see if they added any more. I think that is all we've got right now. Okay. Well, that is it for the notes for today. It looks like the patch is finally at the live server, so I'm going to relog so I can see it. And if I find out anything else, I'll pin a comment. Yeah. Okay, so some last-minute additions to stuff that we found related to today's nude. First of all, rejoice! Essences from Rifts can now be deposited into the material storage, as well as the antique summoning stones and jade rune stones that we have found so far. So those can all go in the material storage now. Second thing, in the Wizard's Vault under Special, there's a lot of new things here that gives a lot of AA if you wish to do them that was not there yesterday. So that is pretty awesome. That's in addition to the other changes to the Wizard's Vault I already went over when I read the notes. Third thing, if you open Black Lion Claim tickets, there is a new weapon set called the Vine Lord Edge Bloom Axe Skin. There's the axe, there's the long bow, there is the short bow, there is the dagger, there is the focus. I'm reminded of Beauty and the Beast with this one. There is the great sword. That looks very edgy. That is the hammer, the mace, the pistol. I like this set. This is pretty slick looking. The rifle, the scepter, the shield, staff, sword, torch, and warhorn. And before someone goes, Muck, you can just left click them to preview. No, you can't. You're stupid. Shut up. That's in a different window. Okay, so that's it for that one. Next up, inside of the Black Lion chest, there is possibly two new things. Infused Aurora gloves, these right here. I think those are new, and then the reconfigured Construct Greatsword skin appears to be a greatsword made out of the boss in the Asura Newbie Zone. So it's made out of cubes. So that's it right there. And if you move, if you're moving, it like comes apart and then reassembles when you hold still. Very unique item, very interesting. So that I believe is brand new. And that is in the Black Lion chest. So that is also new. The next thing, what else do we have? On the Black Lion Trading Company, there's one brand new item, I believe, which is the Amethyst Feathered Mounts package, which gives you feather raptors. I don't know, not my thing, but it might be yours. Just know that they're there. Okay, so there's that, and that. All right, it was also pointed out to me that in the Fractal Rush events, under bonus events and achievements, some of them give Astral Acclaim, which is new. Obviously, that was not a thing before, so just know that that's a thing if you are interested in getting more. Also, the Black Lion Stolen Goods Recovery event under bonus events can give you a way to get a backslot expansion if you need more of those. All right, that's it for real now, I think.